Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name's Cody Bills. Today is the 18th here, and we had the market moving lower with corn down 5.5 cents, soybeans down 13 cents, and wheat in Chicago down 2 3/4 cents here. In the wheat market, we did get some international tenders. We had Jordan issue a tender for 100,000 metric tons. We'll see who gets that. We had Qatar issue a tender for 40,000 metric tons of milling wheat. We also saw Tunisia issue 75,000 metric ton tender for barley and 92,000 metric tons for milling wheat. We're going to see whether or not the U.S. is at all competitive and able to provide the wheat to meet those tenders. One thing that is interesting when we talk about the wheat market is that French wheat, for the first time in about 12 years, is loading on a vessel to come to U.S. shores. Now, this is not going to be milling wheat. This is going to be feed wheat. We know that Europe had a very difficult harvest this year. Their quality concerns are pretty significant over there, and they ended up with a lot of feed wheat. This is probably most likely one of the reasons why we're ending up with it on U.S. shores. Let's talk a little bit about the charting landscape here today. Let's take a look at corn for the December contract. This is a daily chart, each bar representing 1 day of price activity. And you'll notice here that we had a nice trend line. It's acted as a good trend line support since the beginning of October. We are over the 100-day moving average. We did have very positive ethanol production here last week, but you can see in the last 3 days we've been just kind of drifting lower. Right now we are sitting right on a trend line. We'll see if that acts as some support in the overnight session and in tomorrow's trade. Let's take a look at soybeans here. Take a look. Yesterday we had a nice bounce here from the NOPA numbers. Today we erased all the gains that we got back from those NOPA numbers, and we end up trading out near the lows of the day. I would suspect that the highs of this rally have been put in. I would also suspect, and we talked about this yesterday, that the NOPA numbers are really a reflection of why we were able to trade over 1080 in the earlier part of last week. So instead of really a case for prices moving to new highs. Though we did have strong crush numbers, I would suspect that prices at this level are not going to be sustainable. There was more talks of soy meal from South America making its way to U.S. shores. That's going to impact prices here today. Today we end up closing below the 100-day moving average and closing below that trend line support that has acted as a very positive support for prices here really since the beginning of October. Let's turn our attention over to wheat here. We are over the 100-day moving average. We moved through some critical resistance here last week. We've been just kind of hanging out. I wouldn't be surprised to see wheat with a little bit more relative strength. We've had colder weather that's impacted germination. We've had winter kill scenarios in Nebraska and the northeast part of Colorado last week. So that is a little bit of a concern. And of course, you always have the Ukrainian situation, which, though may not pose a significant risk right now, could flare up into something that would add a little bit more of a wheat premium. It seems as though wheat really over the last week seems to show a little bit of relative strength here. Other than that, guys, that pretty much wraps up today's show. If you have any questions about what I talked about, give us a call, 877-472-4607.